Hello and welcome to this podcast. We are doing a number of podcasts which are dealing with marketing analytics, hopefully useful to marketers. My name is Manoj Tadepalli. I am the co-founder of an advanced analytics shop called Rainman. And over the last 15 years, we have built hundreds, if not thousands of models. In this podcast, we will be discussing the much used and abused return on investment. In other words, ROI. What does this actually mean for big brands? Okay, first let's take a look at the traditional mode of looking at ROI, which is media planning. Media planning is nothing but reaching the maximum number of people an X number of times in your target audience given a budget. How do we do that? We do that because we have surveys available to us, which are TV viewership, print readership, actual views on digital and so on. And because these data is available to us at a granular level, we are able to look at it and say, this combination of channels gives us the optimum mix. So in other words, media planning is about maximizing eyeballs and therefore sales. And there is an assumption here that if you get a certain number of eyeballs, you will get sales. That is the basic assumption that is being made by media planning. So looking at this particular model of ROI, there are some issues with this. The first issue is that there might be some media, important media like out of home, which do not have any databases available to us. The second thing is each media has to be planned independently because these databases are different. Viewership does not talk to readership. So we don't know whether reach frequency at 3 is equal to readership at 3 and so on and so forth. So therefore we have a problem and we have to take a gut call on how much money to put behind each one of these. Then the third one is the survey data perfect? Many a time we can see that a lot of complaints about TRP is not being right and so on. So we are never sure, and there's always a possibility that the survey may not be absolutely accurate. Lastly, since ROI is all about sales and media planning is all about eyeballs, there might be a little bit of a miss between the cup and the lip in this case. So we need to find some other way of actually figuring out if we can validate a media plan and if our budget setting is correct. There is another more direct way of computing ROI. This is a statistical methodology called market mix modeling, or MMM, where we take into account all the factors that drive sales, whether they are media or non-media. This works on the principle of changes in sale or changes in inputs. So for this to work, we need about 36 points of data, month after month or week after week. So once we have the data, because of variations in sales, every time you are changing a particular variable, it estimates the impact of that particular variable. So therefore, what we are talking about here is that we can end up getting the impact of different media channels like TV, print, digital, even at a drill down level if required, so that we are able to compute what is the kind of return that you are getting from each one of these media sources. The great thing about this methodology is that we can actually compare the impact of different media variables and get the ROI for each of these variables, which means that all we need to do to optimize is take money away from lower ROI inputs and put it into the higher ROI inputs. Secondly, MMM is not something new. It is a well-accepted methodology globally and is used by many brands, and it's a best practice method of figuring out where one should be spending the money. But this method also has its own issues. Like I said, it requires a minimum of 36 points of data. Not all brands necessarily have 36 points of data. They may not have collected it, or it might be a new brand. So therefore, we have a problem with that. The second thing is that this, because it is looking at past data, it only throws light on those variables which have been used in the past. For example, if you had not used out of home in the earlier 3 years, then there is no way it will give you an estimate. So the model should have seen the data in the past. So in other words, MMM learns from past data and how media channels have impacted sales in the past. To get the media effectiveness right, in our opinion, we should use a combination of both methods. We should use market mix modeling to not make the same mistakes that we made in the past and set budgets by media. And then we need to use media planning software to get granular insights in what we want to use in the current dynamic market. So to give you an analogy, we need to look at both the rear view mirror and more importantly also see what's happening in front of us to reach home safely. In marketing, it's not the case of either or. It's usually the case of using all information and methodologies which are available to us so that we get what we want to do right. In marketing, it is often the case that we have to look at all resources which are available at our command to be able to arrive at the right mix. There is a lot of wastage sitting in marketing, and a combination of market mix modeling and good media planning can actually cut this tremendously. So to give you an analogy, don't bark up the wrong tree. You need to bark at the appropriate tree which has the right efficiency. Globally, there has been an improvement of almost 10 to 20% using market mix modeling and a combination of media planning. And it is something that you cannot afford to do without. That's all in this podcast. If you are interested in issues related to marketing analytics, subscribe to this channel. Thanks and bye-bye.